Hi, welcome to my pick a card channel, the Tarot Cottage. My name is Amy. I'm here with a pick a card reading for you. So get cozy. We're going to have a little chat today. I want to welcome back my returning subscribers. I want to welcome anyone new to the channel today as well. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your presence. I appreciate all of your kind comments below. I appreciate that you are supporting each other in the comment section as well. That was one of my goals of this channel, is to bring people together just to explore their curiosities, to explore spirit. So welcome to the Tarot Cottage. Be sure to drop your comments below because I do offer a chance to win a free tarot reading for my subscribers as a thank you for your presence. And you just have to drop your comment, hit your notification bell so that I can notify you in the comment section if you're chosen, and we can get the ball rolling. And that's all you have to do. Just drop your comment below. You can even comment beneath my shorts. You can even comment beneath my community tab posts as well. I do include those in the giveaway as well. So be sure to do that too. Engagement is always wonderful for me. And as a thank you, I like to offer a free reading. Now, I will never ask for payment for your free reading, and I will not send unsolicited DMs. So if somebody is doing that on Instagram specifically, that's not me. Be sure to protect yourself from people posing as the Tarot Cottage or posing as other tarot related content as well. It's really important that we support each other and we help to protect each other. But welcome to this platform. Welcome to the Tarot Cottage. Today's pick a card topic is all about someone in your past and are they going to return to your life? And this doesn't even have to be a romantic connection, although it very well could be. That is often what people are drawn to on my channel. But it could be a friend, it could be a family member. Is this person going to return to your life? Are they going to come back into it in some way? We have 3 piles to choose from today. Pile number 1 with the regeneration card. Pile number 2 with the flexible card. Pile number 3 with the change in the wind card. So whichever pile or piles are calling out to you, you can be attracted to multiple piles. My timestamps are listed below, and I'm going to jump into pile 1. Again, today's topic is all about someone from your past. Are they going to come back into your life? Are they going to return into it? Pile 1, pile 2, pile number 3. Hi, pile 1. You were drawn to the regeneration card, and this is your reading. Is the person on your mind going to come back into your life? Are they going to return to you? The regeneration card can be a really good sign if you were drawn to it, of course, because it talks about rising from the ashes. But this little tree always reminds me of like a burnt out bonsai tree. So I always think of bonsais as being wired up and then moved slowly into position. So you could have been waiting for a really long time, perhaps, for a regeneration, but there's still fire. Like there's still fire brewing under the surface of everything. So the emotions could still very well be there. Let's take a look here. Pile number 1, please. Is the person on their mind going to return to their life? Are they coming back in? I'm using the Labyrinth Tarot for you today. For pile 1, is the person on their mind going to come back into their life? We have the 6 of Cups. We have the King of Cups. We have the 10 of Wands. We have the 9 of Pentacles. Coming out with the Tower and the Queen of Swords. So we're going to have to keep those all together in one little pile here. And we have the Empress. Back of the deck is the 2 of Cups, and we have the Page of Wands. And there's the 7 of Cups. So let's clarify as we go forward here. Now the back of the deck is regeneration, and then we have here the 10 of Wands. And what's interesting is that the regeneration is number 46, and if we add those numbers together, we achieve the 10 of this 10 of Wands. And so this is like a burden that maybe you've been carrying for a long time. This has been an inspiration in your life, so this has been a heavy influence for you. Even if you've been in no contact, you've still kind of carried them along the journey with you. And I feel like if you are the Divine Feminine, if you're resonating with that energy field, they are referencing the Divine Masculine as well, who as well, they also think that there are bones to pick here. But the problem is that they don't look at themselves in a very abundant light. It's like they don't think that they have a lot to offer, or they don't think that you feel the same way that they feel. And so they're almost defensive about what they have to offer, or they're almost defensive about their position at this moment. But the desire here is not just regeneration. The desire is a new relationship. Like, we just don't want them to come back into our life. We want a relationship here. And for your perception, and I feel like this is their perception as well, but both of you don't know what the other person is thinking and feeling because you're not in contact right now. But there's a lid on one of these pots. The other pot is wide open. But I feel like there's a lid on the love for you, and I feel like there's a lid on the love for this person too, but neither one of you realize that there is a parallel here between your feelings. And it's that unknown that I feel like is really stopping a regeneration overall, is the fact that there's mutual attachment here. And it's not just a physical thing. This is emotion. This is remembrance. This person's very nostalgic when it comes to you. And again, I feel like that's very mutual as well. We have the Wheel of Fortune. The Five of Pentacles. And I'm hearing that song, We Could Have Had It All, by Adele. And the recognition of, like, we could have built everything. We could have had a family together. We could have done it all. And maybe I let something hold me back. The Divine Masculine is claiming to have let something hold them back. They could also be letting something hold them back right now. And again, I feel like it's just a perception, because they are highlighting the Divine Feminine taking a step in leadership here. Because now they're giving, and I'm feeling this surge through my solar plexus, because that's empowerment, that's confidence. And they're speaking about the reality and the truth. It's like, maybe you don't know the truth of their feelings, and they don't know the truth of your feelings, but you know the truth of your own feelings. And that's an inspiration. And there is power in the truth. There's power in the truth of how you feel. That's inspiring you to some type of change, perhaps inspiring the Divine Feminine into some type of action. They keep bringing me back to this idea of where there's smoke, there's fire. And we know that there's fire inside of the Divine Feminine. And Spirit says there's definitely, in the very least, smoke coming from the Divine Masculine. We have the Star. They're really using an idea of connectivity with this star. So they're really highlighting the internet, playing a role in the future of this connection. So, and I feel like you maybe could look for them on the internet, or they're looking for you. They just showed the Six of Wands and confidence. And they're speaking how that truly the Divine Feminine doesn't need to waste her time wondering if this person feels the same. If you were honest with yourself, if you were honest with your own intuitive messages that are coming in, you would recognize that that's not even a necessary question. We have the Hierophant, we have the Knight of Swords, and we have the Seven of Pentacles. And here's the Judgment, High Priestess. Now, they're speaking here about what we know to be true about the Divine Masculine right now. And in the Divine Masculine's energy, they could be a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. A lot of water coming from this person. There could be fatherhood associated with them at this moment. And that's not a message for everyone. I am reading for the collective. But if you are privy to what's happening in their life right now, you'll understand that message. Something's holding them back. And if we're given that information in the full spectrum here of what Spirit's offering us, then we need to take that inspiration, we need to take that information and use it in some way towards our own good. And sometimes we'll look at that information and say, well, if they're stuck, then I guess I'm stuck too. But you'll notice that there's two people here within the construct of the Five of Pentacles. There's two people here in the Hierophant, both number fives. The fives are not obstacles, they're just hurdles. We just need to get over them. So given that information, knowing that the Divine Masculine is not capable, or at least emotionally doesn't feel like they're capable right now of coming forward, maybe because of their own unknowns, maybe because of their own fears, their own burdens, whatever that case may be, that's their sort of cross to bear. We don't need to know the full spectrum of what's holding them back. We just need to know that something's holding them back. So now when we use that information, we can apply it to ourselves, and we can start to dissect, okay, what's distracting me? What's stopping me from bringing balance into my life? What's stopping me from speaking my truth or expressing myself in some way? And they are highlighting the Divine Feminine really taking action here, or taking on a leadership role. Because they're speaking about two people that have experienced like periods of discontent frustration periods in regards to this connection, a parallel. And look at the tops that they're just spinning. Look at these weights about how much strength it's required for us to be able to maintain this rumination pattern. And so the Nine of Pentacles asks us to eliminate all of those distractions, including the distraction of timing, and to start making plans towards our goals here. And the truth is that I do feel like there is the possibility of a return. But I feel like action might be required from the Divine Feminine to open up the lines of communication. We're starting with my first position with the Six of Cups, and I often say I don't read the way that other readers read. I don't really follow the spreads, the traditional spreads of tarot. They're beautiful spreads, but I don't usually follow them. I start with a position card. Spirit gives me a lot of information. I follow the tangent, the story that they're telling me, and it arrives me back at my conclusion. And here we have the Six of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. This is a turn of events in our favor, but someone's pushing the wheel. Someone's pushing the wheel. I feel like this person, I feel like there's going to be communication in the very least, and I feel like it's going to be the Divine Feminine using the internet, using social media to start that process. Now, if there's no guarantee that we can guarantee what this King of Cups is going to do with presented with your truth, but that truth can definitely set us free. That truth is enough to inspire change and a regeneration. And if they're even, again, highlighting the number 4 and the number 6. Number 6 being the connection, the collaboration between the two of you. The 4 is like the in-between, being stuck maybe in different locations, being stuck in different time frames right now. But there is the possibility of more here in this connection, Pile 1. This is not a situation where it is over. We have make a decision and take appropriate action as a chosen tool here to create more change in this situation, and then get ready for a big breakthrough. But they do highlight the necessity for the Divine Feminine to reflect. That's what the butterfly does. It sort of turns itself inside out, and it reflects upon this huge new adventure that it's about to embark upon. It says, you are provided for in all ways of abundance. And so they're really speaking here about how you could be tolerating less than what you deserve right this moment in love. You could be tolerating because you don't have the information, so you could be sitting kind of waiting for the information to show up. You could be gaining a lot of frustration during this process. And Spirit says that they want you to listen more to the notes of your own intuition. That could be instructing you or inspiring you to overcome your fear of the unknown, to stop using that unknown as the crutch and start seeking out the solutions that give you the opportunity to leave no stone unturned in this connection. But it is not over, Pile 1. Meditate and contemplate, new moon in Pisces. And they're speaking about kind of like a cat and mouse game, like chasing each other around, stuck in a karmic trench. And truthfully, nothing changes if nothing changes. And if we know that the Divine Masculine is going to be impeded, then maybe we will be the force of change. Having faith in your dreams, confidence being the key to success. This is so much more than just a dream. It's a goal. It can be a dream, but we can turn it into a goal by taking the practical steps that are necessary and not allowing our own vulnerability to distract us from the goal that we have. With this new Page of Cups opens up the possibility, or Page of Wands, I'm sorry, opens up the possibility of new relationships forming, and then options beyond that point as well. Let's get a charm bowl, please, for pile number 1. 3 of Pentacles, the Hierophant in the reverse position. Now, the Tower's here. We can't deny it. Tower was here too. Hierophant energy here as well. So they are highlighting maybe some obstacles, some adjustments. Maybe we're afraid to step forward because we're afraid we can't take it back. If we're given information that we don't like, we're afraid we can't take it back. But the truth is, Spirit doesn't want us to take it back. If we're speaking our truth, that's you being vulnerable. That's you offering that clarity to the universe about what you're ready for. Again, with the Hierophant reverse, we could have a problem with issue with authority or position, especially if there are other practical concerns as far as other relationships, other timelines, other responsibilities. Now, again, I'm reading for the collective, so that may not be a message that resonates with everyone. But they are speaking here about how you represent to this person and they represent to you a benchmark of, at this point, they consider it a benchmark of failure because they could have had it all, they feel like, with you. We have happy, we have S. The letter S, we have a lightning bolt, again, another reference to the tower and sort of upheaval, change. We have Cupid's arrow coming in out of the blue and unfinished cycles. And just the divine masculine kind of spinning around and around. We also have here a burnout when it comes to the sun and when it comes to clarity. Pile number 1, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates with you. Please be sure to drop your comment below for your chance to win a free reading with me. And if you have dropped comments in the past, be sure to check your old notifications because I'm waiting to hear back from my most recent winner. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personalized reading, and that link is below, and I update that shop daily. But I hope you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile number 2. You were drawn to the flexible card, and this is your reading. Will the person on your mind come back into your life? Are they going to return to your life? Now, the flexible card is number 19, and it always reminds me of the Knight of Pentacles, actually, because of the lines inside the grass and the perfectly plowed laneways. So they're speaking here about timing, perhaps having to be flexible with timing, but also being flexible with the potential because the egg is still here. So this connection in your mind or in your heart perhaps holds all potential. All it needs to do is be incubated with the right force, the right perspective, and the right actions. We're going to use the Crow Tarot for you today, pile 2. So for pile 2, please, will the person on their mind come back into their life? Is there going to be a return in this connection for pile number 2? We have the Knight of Wands starting out your reading. The Ten of Pentacles coming reversed. The Emperor. The World. It is not lost on this divine masculine that there's unfinished cycles in this situation. They're really highlighting December for me. Could be Sagittarius. We have a lot of Aries here as well. And we have the Nine of Wands. Back of the deck is the Three of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. We're going to get a clarifying deck here. The Emperor. Eight of Swords, supporting the Ten of Pentacles reversed. You remind this person of what it's like to be the knight. You remind this person of youth and excitement and abundance. This could have been like a friend from the past, but I don't feel like it was friendship. Like it just feels very lively. The idea of reunions with you feels very freeing, and I'm just feeling this pulse through like my back, like my solar plexus. Here's the King of Swords. And now there's a really strong picture of why Spirit's asking for flexibility here. Flexibility with the opportunity, maybe flexibility in timing completely. It's very clear to me why it has to be flexible, because Spirit says that this divine masculine has intentions of reaching out to you. It might come at a very sort of impulsive moment though from them, because the truth is that they're concerned about breaking down of commitment cycles. Like they could be concerned about causing tower moments. They could be in a commitment, for instance. With the Ten of Pentacles reversed and the Eight of Swords, I just feel like there's something very tangible, very practical in their life that they juggle, that they have a lot of responsibilities towards. And so it's like the communication comes in with a double-edged razor, because there's a lot of conflict that comes along with it. Because even when the communication shows up and I feel like this person does take action, I feel the divine masculine is very impulsive and reaches out to you. They're even giving me a time frame for someone watching. But I think this Ten of Pentacles is one of the big issues that gets in the way. Because it's like their desire for you seems to be kind of hidden. The loyalty that they have for you, and they're taking a passive approach right now, but the loyalty that they have for you is still in place. If you'll notice the Ten of Pentacles, we can see clearly two white dogs. But if you look really, really closely at this card, there's all these little details that can add to the message. Because if we look really closely, there's a third dog that looks like it's hiding under the cloak. And that's the loyalty. They may have loyalty to an environment, to a commitment, to a family, for instance, but there's loyalty hidden in plain sight for you too. And there's this growing pressure, even in the present moment, that this person feels compelled towards you. They feel like drawn towards you. It's almost like a force, like a magnetic force that they don't feel like they can really control. Here's the Two of Pentacles and there's the Hermit. And again, this message of flexibility, this message of like holding space, because even when they come forward, I feel like they bring forward a reality of their 3D situation. So even if you're not privy to what kind of cycles they've moved into, I feel like they share that during a communication with you. And we have this transition into clarity, but it's supporting the Nine of Wands, which means that we're not actually moving into closure. There's no closure when it comes to this desire, when it comes to this connection. When the communication comes in from the Divine Masculine, could even come in online potentially, but when it comes in, Spirit says we have this desire, this hold, this Nine of Wands, and it's like a force. We have to apply strength to the position, to the clarity that comes in. And sometimes the strength says, I know that I really shouldn't, but I want to. Sometimes the strength says, I'm pushing forward anyway. So there's going to be contact that comes in. And then Spirit says we have some choices and decisions to make about what we're going to do with this opportunity, because there are still challenges to overcome. We may have to be flexible with the chance. We may have to be flexible with the timing for this person, because even when they come forward, they seem to come forward, but they're not in a state of readiness. Spirit says that even when they come forward, they're sitting upon this information. They know what the obstacles are even before they come in. That's why they're being really impulsive with it. And I feel like they act like they're unbothered by the connection, but they're very much still influenced, even in the present moment. If nothing was stopping them, I feel like they would reach out today. But they're also giving me a time frame for someone watching that there could be communication that comes in within the year. Of course, I'm reading for the collective because that's going to change depending on your situation, but there will be communication. The question is, what happens beyond it? What happens beyond the reunion? The reunion itself brings lots of confidence, brings excitement, brings the possibility of a lot of fire, maybe even a physical connection, brings in that opportunity. Spirit says, what are we going to do with it? Because it opens up the option. But Spirit says we're also going to be looking. I'm not saying that you're looked at as an option, but Spirit says that there's maybe too many cooks in the kitchen here for the Divine Masculine. So there's like this idea of like the fantasy surrounding you. I feel like this person comes forward a lot because there's this desire to fulfill this fantasy. We have soulmate energy. We have reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. And then we have make the effort. Great love is worth the steps we're guided to take. And that's what Spirit is saying, is that you deserve what you want. You deserve love. They're even highlighting that. You deserve love. You are lovable. This person may not be 100% available to love you in the way that you deserve. And that's why they also want you to be flexible with your own clarity, making sure that you're not blinded by the light of this person, blinded by the excitement of the potential. Because even that can be a little bit blinding as well. But there's going to be like, they're showing the daffodil. They're talking about springtime. So even spring could be a significant time frame when this person does reach out to you. And beyond that, there's definitely the possibilities of reconciliation. They're even showing the possibilities of like a physical connection that the two of you may enter into. But you may have to be flexible with being able to incubate this into a full-fledged romantic connection because of their obstacles. Now, these obstacles could also be mirrored in your environment, so please take that as it resonates. We have gratitude. And I do feel like they will come forward with the guise of closure. They may pop forward and not be 100% honest about some of the motivation, some of the inspiration that they've had, some of the fire that they're feeling towards you. They could come forward with an aspect of letting you know what they've experienced, telling you that they want to gain closure, wanting to have a conversation to gain peace. But we have release on the back of the deck, and it's even showing itself in the reverse, which means it's not completely authentic. And it doesn't the momentum that I see does not actually result in closure. It actually results in like a deeper force, a deeper hold on us. And then we have creation. Back of deck, soulmate energy. And the creation here reminds me of like a shaman. Also reminds me of the magician. And so, again, communication being really prioritized, but also the idea of being able to manifest change, being able to call back our energy, being able to make adjustments towards the original plan. This is something that will be necessary, perhaps, if we want to give birth into, sorry, my throat's closing because I have a cold. If we want to give birth into something more. And they're not speaking about children, they're speaking about the birth of this connection. So if we want to create something more, we may have to micromanage the obstacles that come in once the communication opens up. But it's not over for you. And they're speaking about how soulmate energy, this type of connection, feels worthwhile for you, that you may want to be flexible with the opportunity. Advice, please, for pile number 2. We have lizard. Pay attention to your dreams and visions. And trust in your higher self to guide you, but there will be signs. It says pay attention to the signs. You may not want to. You may not want to pay attention to the obstacles. But Spirit's asking you to look at things from every single angle. They say that this situation, if we want it to evolve into something more, is going to require determination. It says you know where you're going and you're going to get there, but it's going to require effort. It's going to require determination. And I just saw the slow down card as well. So flexibility with timing for this person in their ability to clear themselves of obstacles might be necessary for you as well. Look at the bigger picture, the full moon in Sagittarius, and a time to give rather than to take. The back of deck says the answers you need are coming. And you may feel like you have to be generous with this person because of their obstacles. You may sometimes be a little too generous. That's why Spirit doesn't want you to tolerate less than what you deserve, of course, but there is possibility coming in the future of this connection. Let's get a charm bowl for pile number 2. In the bowl today for pile 2, we have the Empress reversed, the Eight of Pentacles reversed, the Eight of Swords. So there's this feeling about the Empress not feeling abundant. When she's in the reverse, that's the exact opposite of what she needs to be in. She's the epitome of abundance. But there's a feeling about feeling limited in your own resources, feeling like maybe you're depending on other people to make the move. So you may be telling yourself, I'm not going to be the one that moves forward here. I'm not going to be the one that brings forward information. So you may be depending on this person to do the work. And the truth is I feel like they're going to take action in the form of communication. They're going to take that first step, but you may find that it's hard for them to execute the rest of the steps that they have to take. You still may be depending on them to do it, but you may find that they have a challenge in doing so. So they keep bringing forward this idea of the sun coming out for you, but the sun is also full spectrum. It's showing you everything. It's showing you the truth of their feelings. It's showing you the potential for more, but it's also showing you the dynamics of the obstacles as well. So Cupid's arrow coming out of the blue. We have children affected by the situation or influenced in some way here. There could also be a past, like youthful energy connected to this connection as well. The letter H, we have some. We have here temptation from the divine masculine with the potential to, with the dark mermaid, I think of the potential for endings. We have angels, again, watching over the situation, and the angels reverse. So it's like somebody who's not being angelic, a forget-me-not, an anchor that leads to change. We have a lot of Virgo energy for the divine feminine and healing, and they're speaking here about grounding yourself to what is so that you don't get blinded by what you want and what this person wants. Pile number 2, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates. If it does, drop your comment below for your chance to win a free reading with me. Check your notifications if you have already dropped me comments, because I'm waiting to hear back from my most recent winner. And you can check out my link for Etsy for a personal reading, and that link is below and it gets updated daily. But I hope that you come back here and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day. Hello, pile number 3. You were drawn to the change in the wind card, and this is your reading. The person on your mind, are they going to come back into your life? Will there be a return to you? And the change in the wind card, I'm getting a really strong sense of somebody watching you, actually. They're giving me this aspect of the zebra really spending time blending in to a crowd. So this could mean that they've seen you from afar and they've blended into the crowd literally, but they're also giving me like an online exchange. So it's like somebody who maybe isn't commenting on your pictures, isn't a friend on your Facebook page, for instance, but they're slipping in and out, going unnoticed, looking at things, watching you. And they're highlighting the 12, the Hanged Man. They're highlighting like a change, surrendering to change. So maybe they're waiting for change to happen. It's like they're observing until they see something shifting before they take action. So let's take a look here. I'm going to use the Angel Tarot for you to begin. For pile number 3, please. Will there be a return from the person in the past into their life? Are they returning? Are they coming back into their life? For pile number 3, please. We're starting with the 10 of Swords. We have the Queen of Wands. We have the 6 of Wands. We have the Hanged Man. Coming out with the Star and the 5 of Swords. And they're really highlighting like a friend from your past here. So maybe this isn't even romantic, or it could have been romantic, but maybe it didn't transition there, because they're really highlighting friendship here. So someone, an old friend from your past, but I think that they had more feelings for you than meets the eye. We have the 10 of Pentacles, and we have the Emperor, Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, the World. In this case, you know, typically the Emperor is shown seated on his throne because he's arrived somewhere. This Emperor is standing. I feel like this Emperor wants to take action. I feel like they're prepared to take action, but it's like they're too confident about something. They're too confident. It doesn't feel like it's confidence in an abundant sort of sense. It's like they're too confident about a certain detail or a certain truth about what they're observing. It's like maybe they're too confident that you're too happy. Because what they keep highlighting is that luck isn't on my side, and I'm sure of that. Luck isn't on my side, and I'm sure of that. And the truth is, we started with the 10 of Swords, and the 10 of Swords is like a depletion. It's an idea that keeps haunting me. It's an idea that doesn't provide growth, and it's an obsessive idea. I feel like there's a bit of obsession associated with this person's view of you. Three of Pentacles and the 9 of Swords. Queen of Wands. A lot of Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. We have the Page of Pentacles. I feel like this person wants to reach out right now, but they're consumed with the challenges that are getting in the way, and it's affecting their faith. They don't have the faith, and that's the problem, is that because faith drives us forward, and they don't have it. They're too confident in a lack of confidence, Spirit says, and that's really affecting them. Because they are watching you, and whatever it is they're watching, they're making they could be making an assumption, but they're making this assumption that you're really happy, that you must be happier without them, that they don't want to disrupt that happiness, that they're just seeing this scene where they're like, I don't want to create havoc for you. I don't want to create obstacles. But it's not even in relation to the Tower necessarily. It's relation to what their perception is, because the 5 of Swords says, I'm actually self-preserving. It's like, if this is a situation that's going to hurt everyone, then I need to protect myself. And I'm protecting myself by holding on to this perspective. But that could be where Spirit's asking for flexibility too, and a change in the wind here, because it's like they're surrendering to an idea because of what they're viewing. But what we look at, there's so many subjective opinions of what we're actually looking at. In their opinion, when they look at you online, for instance, they see a lot of happiness or they see a lot of contentment, and they don't want to disrupt that. It's like they're trying to be good or they're trying to be someone that looks like they have a lot of integrity. Maybe the reversals are here and they don't have the ability to come forward because of that reason, but they are watching you and they don't want to disrupt what they're viewing. Here's the Six of Pentacles. And we can't deny here the 10 and the 6, that is the Tower energy. And the truth is that we'll never have that epiphany unless we stop being complacent and have the conversation. That perhaps things are more paralleled and more balanced between the two of you and your feelings and your tensions, your wants, than they even realize here. Here's the Six of Swords and there's the Emperor. Back of deck. Now the truth is that I think this Emperor needs help with clarity. I think they need a push in the right direction if you are also kind of matching up with this goal of meeting, community, a return to the world, a reunion of souls. Because what they're perceiving, it's like they're making a lot of assumptions about your desire to see them, your desire to have them back in your life. And it's like you're perhaps waiting for them, and it's like they're waiting for you to clear something out. It could be a foundation. Again, it's just something that they're perceiving that makes you really happy in life that they don't want to disrupt. And I don't like that we start with the 10 of Swords in your first position card, because Spirit says these are the steps that we're going through. We're arriving back here at depletion. We're arriving back here at the necessity to surrender to a change in perspective, to forge a new plan or to make a new idea out of the situation. Because it's their overthinking that's keeping them on that bench. It's their fear that's stopping them from actually reaching out the way that they want to in the present moment, because they're so consumed by the challenges that they'd have to overcome. And that's enough to keep them seated. Here's the Emperor now seated. And you'll notice with the Emperor, we have the Emperor with the Ace of Swords. We have the Six of Swords with the Emperor. And together, we put the Ace and the 7 together, and that's or the Ace and the 6 together, and that's the 7 of Swords. That's dishonesty. I'm not being honest with myself and other people. I'm taking my fears from the past and I'm applying it to today. And maybe those fears, that insecurity, my perceptions don't apply today, but I'm applying them and it's making me feel impaled with the impossibility. And if I truly believe it's impossible, then maybe I won't take the effort to put forward towards clarity, closure, communication. So Spirit says they may need a little kick in the right direction. They may need a little encouragement to create change. They're still holding space. They just feel like they have to be very cautious in their approach. And perhaps that's true. Maybe their perceptions are right on the map and there is a lot of obstacles for the Divine Feminine to move out. But they'll never know until there's that communication cycle. So I feel like they are holding space and they want to come forward, but I also think they don't know how or if that's possible. So Spirit says that we may not achieve communication because two people may continue to be complacent. And perhaps ultimately if the Divine Feminine is in a commitment cycle, for instance, is kind of immersed in a new life, then that could be what you're surrendering to as well. And maybe this reading was just an opportunity to see if this person has the courage to step forward to create change. But Spirit wants to offer you this perspective because they hope that with all of the information given, you'll be able to make definitive decisions about where your energy lies and what your highest good demands of you. Whether it demands for you to give a little kick in the right direction, or to surrender to the position that you're in the present moment. But I don't feel like this person's going to have the courage to come forward without a little bit of encouragement or a little bit of help. And yet it's not off the table for there to be communication in the future of this situation. But it's not a guarantee. Because confidence, and this was a message from pile 1 as well. There could be a message waiting for you. They are highlighting the Divine Feminine perhaps playing a more active role than she would like here in opening up the possibilities. Even if it's just closure with this person, you might have to play a role in encouraging that momentum forward. Your commitment is being tested. Their commitment to their focus, perhaps your commitment as well to other realms. There is a desire and a necessity to release any negativity or obstacles in the way as well. We have take time to breathe out. And we have you are good enough. And that could be also what they're struggling with, is this lack of confidence. They may not feel like they have enough to offer. That could be a huge fear. of that, of course, it's not mutual because I'm not enough in this situation. But it says the answers you need are coming, the full moon in Gemini, but your hard work will pay off towards that goal. So the divine feminine, if you are resonating with that energy, but it's all about energy, has nothing to do with gender. But if you are the divine feminine resonating with this message, the answers you need will come, but it might come at the cost of your hard work. So they just want to put that out there. It's like this person is too consumed with the overthinking to see the light. We have shining a light on self-worth. And I feel like this person has a problem with their own confidence. You may also feel a parallel to that struggle as well. And we have impartiality, somebody who's trying to keep things balanced. It's like, I'm not going to rock the boat because I'm trying to keep things balanced, but that's a tool of the ego. There's the trickery. And they did show us the Five of Swords here in your spread because they're highlighting how the ego will use certain amounts of logic and fear against us to stop us from planting important seeds that could ultimately yield huge results later. So there's still a lot of potential because there's a lot of energy that still exists between the two of you. But Spirit says this person may only come forward, or there could only be evolution if they're given a little bit of encouragement or if you take action first. Please. We have here, you are the healer. And whenever I see the healing aspect connected to the divine feminine, they're referencing how we have to heal ourselves first before we can help heal other people. So you may feel like there are obstacles for you to overcome before you have the courage or the wherewithal or the clearance to move forward here. But this might also raise the question and the possibility of more in your heart as well. But the back of the deck says determination. You will know where you're going and you'll get there. And they're speaking about the transformation of the salmon as well, and how if you trust in your higher self, Spirit says you can get to the destination that you want to get to. But it might need a little bit of help, pile 3. Let's get a charm bowl for pile number 3, please, in the bowl. The Page of Wands is coming reversed. We have here the Chariot and the Queen of Wands. A lot of fire for the Queen of Wands here. Now, they are talking here about school energy. It's like maybe you went to school with this person in the past. They are highlighting school days and a lot of thirst even from that point. So you could have gone to high school with this person or college with this person. And I feel like you've been waiting a while for them to take action, even in the past of this connection. You could have been taking a while to see them take action upon you in the past. If you were in school together, for instance, there's just a feeling about even the divine feminine being emotionally pulled in different directions, that this is not an unfamiliar feeling, or this is not an unfamiliar energy that you're used to feeling. So they do play sort of a feature role even in the disconnection. We have the divine feminine, and again, thirst for the divine feminine. We have 0 of the Fool, taking leaps of faith, and I can. Speaking about taking action, taking leaps of faith, this idea of like whether I can or whether I can't, I'm absolutely right. They're also showing the hot air balloon and rising above situations to see a fuller spectrum. We do have the Peace reverse, so there's not a lot of clarity. In the very least, conversations might be required to gain some type of clarity over our feelings from the past. And they don't see a lot of closure just naturally coming in, or a lot of peace naturally coming into the situation without a little bit of help. Now, we do have the Hatchet. I do think of the Ten of Pentacles as a key feature of the Hatchet, of having to break down something that I've invested in. So please take that as it resonates. It says, I will hold you in my heart until I hold you in heaven. All right, pile 3, that's what I have for you today. I hope it resonates. If it does, please drop your comment below for your chance to win a free reading with me. You can also check out my link for Etsy for a personalized reading, and that link is below, and I do update that shop daily. But I hope you come back and visit me at the Tarot Cottage, and I hope you have a great day.